2014 Hotset GSL Season 1 Round 8 Rain vs. Hero.
You know, I do want to say one other thing about that last game.
Yes.
It's something that I've believed in fully for a very long time, for almost a year now, and have been somewhat vocal about. I really do feel like Immortal Archon Charge Lot is a better composition overall than Colossus if you play it right. And in that game, I think what we saw was two players actually playing completely right for what was going on.
You know what's funny?
Because with the teching up, the fact that he added the gates to punish if there was a third, and then realized, okay, there's no third, I'm going to tech to Tempest, that does force the attack out of Rain. And when you're forcing the attack out of him, and you can kind of take the concave and decide where that attack is going to be, it's going to give you an advantage as well. So
looking at Heroes games, he does set up for a lot of Immortals in the early mid game. And you know what's nice about that is the Immortals, if you're defending, are usually the last units to die.
Yeah, they generally always are.
So think about that. If they're like the last units to die, generally speaking, occasionally you have weird force fields where one's forced out. But if you're careful with them, if you babysit them, if you micro right, then you know if you defend that attack, then your opponent is. Are you all right?
Yes. Let's not talk about it.
All right, all right.
That was weird.
All right.
I just found someone's bottle of
yeah,
water.
I think you just drank from the wrong water. We don't know whose that was or how long that's been there. Sorry. So if you keep those Immortals. Whoa.
Yeah, that was weird.
Normally I wouldn't break the fourth wall there, but I was actually a little bit worried when I saw you reacted to that. Like Artosis just drank gasoline.
Yeah.
When you have those Immortals remaining, and you're gonna win that fight, they run away. Usually their army's in shambles. Then you can go right into that Zealot Archon tech. Zealot Archon tech is the best thing you can go for.
To refill quick.
Yeah, to reload. It's very gas mineral efficient. All the gas has been on the Templars. All the remaining minerals are on the Zealots.
It's a pretty mobile army overall. You can kind of engage anywhere. It's
and as long as you can fan out the army and get some nice surrounds, it's really good. You can spread out Zealots and have them attack different locations. Archons are big and clunky, but not hard to micro. With Zealots there, the Zealots kind of move past, leaving the Archons free to move around, so you can get the splash damage optimized, depending on which part of the army you want to attack.
Thing is, with that, against any full composition, it's a little bit weaker.
It is, but that's why we want to get the Zealot Archon army after the unit counting has been reset, after that big battle.
So what we just saw here, Hero re-scouted. He saw the Twilight, ran back to check if it got canceled, and then threw a pylon down because he wants to know for sure, is this going
really
to stay?
Smart. That's an old Brood War trick.
Yeah.
Keep the pylon there and force him to let that finish.
And he does force him to let it finish, and suddenly we see a Dark Shrine go up, whereas Hero throwing up his own Twilight. So this could actually go very, very wrong for Hero because he actually got to see that this is not being canceled. He may go for something like a four gateway blink against what he assumes will be a 3 gateway blink or a fast expansion after seeing that was canceled. So if he does something like that, DT's just kill him.
Well, let's see how this actually pans out now.
Yeah.
The Dark Shrine is halfway done. We have Blink coming over here for Hero.
Well, he's only on 3 gates, so that gives us a little bit more hope here. 4 gateway blink never has detection, so.
Mothership Core backing up now. Still no signs of total preparation here. We have the Robo.
There it is.
Facility. There it is. Okay. We did have the Robo facility start before for Rain, but this is good. This is it's going to be okay then for Hero. I was worried we might have just a straight up, hard loss there.
Yeah, the hard counters like that are pretty brutal. But as is, I normally in this situation he sees the Dark Shrine. Definitely at this point, I give a slight lead here to Hero, even though his Nexus looks like it's going to be a little bit later.
Okay, now he's going to be watching the ramp here for the Blur. The Blur's now coming up. This is a lot harder.
Where's the Blur? There it is.
There it is. Okay, now that was a smart move by Rain. He backs up, identifying that when he sees the Stalkers at the ramp like that and not just sitting out on the low ground, that's when he knows for sure His opponent's completely prepared. He knows there's going to be.
He knows he's
up there.
aware. He doesn't know exactly when or where the detection's coming from, but
and he's eyeballing that that entrance to see okay, where is that blur. So that was a good move there because Rain could have possibly ended up losing that DT.
Yeah.
Had it gotten into the main, and then his opponent micros right.
And you actually can't lose it because you have to. This is like a very thin line. If your opponent is going Observer Blink against this build, you have to really pump out your Immortals at home, and you have to kind of keep them on the back foot by having a DT on the map that you can counterattack with, which makes them leave forces.
So for the sheer amount of damage that a DT can deal, it's quite a cheap unit. But the problem is that if it doesn't do any damage, then you're really investing in the wrong unit. You're really, really investing in the wrong unit. So you want to be very careful. Every DT you have is so precious. It's not expendable. Like for instance, Zealots.
Yeah, one DT is like over 300 gas. So
yeah.
The first DT, of course, the other one's coming at a discount because you already have Dark Shrine.
Yeah, in this case, we only have one DT, so he spent all that income and time and tech to have to just now have that one DT out, which has, beyond peaking there and maybe counterattacking later on, has not done anything, really, for him.
But you know what? Rain is he's playing this right. He's kept his DT alive. He's making a Warp Prism, and a Warp Prism with a quick DT build like this is super powerful because you can drop the DT at the edge of the base, and unless they're leaving units and an observer in there, you can run in like snipe one probe, run away, and stuff like that. And sometimes, you just keeping the threat of the DT is so huge. Now watch, as long as he doesn't mess up and lose the Warp Prism or the DT, as if he keeps them both alive, it's a pain in Rain's behind for the entire game.
Okay, the Warp Prism's coming up now. Now, I don't know if he should come in here just yet. I would have waited until his opponent, until the opposing player leaves. All right, he peeks to see if there's anything there.
And he showed the Warp Prism, and that's going to make him continue to defend. You can see he's leaving a bunch of units in there.
Yeah, there's a high chance that Hero will stay on 2-base for a long time. Long time.
Yeah, well, Hero is the one this time going up to Colossus Tech.
Third base in a situation like this where the opposing player has DTs, a Warp Prism can really make a third base an unattractive thing.
That is for sure. We basically see the spots reversed. Look at this, the Gateway Explosion, the Immortals, the Charge, the Templar Archives for Archons, all coming out of Rain, whereas the Colossus Tech is coming out of Hero. Now, we have to watch, because last game it was like almost two perfect players playing perfectly against each other. Of course, the attack from Rain was not that good, but he kind of had to do it because Tempests were going to be on the way and he wasn't going to have any recourse.
Yeah.
But if you look at it here, one of them is going to mess up and the other one's going to kill him. I loved seeing 2 games in a row like this.
It's like most StarCraft II games there, but you just
said. I mean, in a lot of StarCraft II games, there's... Okay, but for the viewers at home, they think that was dumb. In a lot of StarCraft II games, you'll see, both players make several mistakes and whatnot. But now this is also very interesting. He's taking the quick third, and this is something that I believe you absolutely can do with this build against Colossus Tech. If you start that third before they start their first Colossus, it is going to be operational. You're going to be able to add some extra gates and have a ton of units out before they can hit you with any attack. Because the quickest attack he can do with this Colossus Tech is like a 2 Colossus attack, which is kind of weak already. And with your third up in mining, extra gateways, tons of Immortals, Chrono boosted out, you're going to be feeling fine.
We're having a serious gateway explosion here.
Yeah.
Thermal Lance, a little bit more than halfway done. And here comes Hero now moving out on the map. Rain is going to push forward here. Or at least try to clear up the the area around the watchtower to keep Hero on his toes a little bit.
Well,
and wow, the Hero's completing the tech tree here.
I really like to see that Rain as well right now, grabbing a Stargate. And he's going to, of course, go up to Tempest for that.
I got to say, I think a 2-base timing could actually do a lot of damage here. Wipe out the third very easily here for Rain. I mean, the Tempests are good, but the third is actually pretty far out, I mean, it's not...
Well, I think he almost wants that to happen. Like, he's pressuring right now,
with the Warp Prism, I mean, he could actually dump that into the main and do a lot of damage. Let's see. Hero might bite here. At the same time, with this many gateways, if he just saves a warping round, he can kill the third and then warp in and take all the Zealots out.
It's going to be a very hard line to walk for Hero here.
Now, this DT that's coming down here, I believe after that checks for the third, he may right-click that into the worker line there at the second.
Here we go. We do have a drop going into the main base. Going to drop right on that cannon to start.
Okay, so there's the DT now coming into the second as well here. Zealots are being warped in here too.
Oh, and he picks off the War Prism. That was a perfect move, and it looks like he will be able to kill this off. So well done, but this DT is killing a lot of probes.
Okay,
oh, God.
The engagement's occurred now.
Time warps do go down. He slows down the Immortals so that he can get away.
It looks like Heroes Immortals are backing up. Regrouping now. Nicely takes out that DT.
Rain kills 25 probes, though.
That is so scary.
And that is the problem with this
45 and 23, actually.
God, that is so crazy. That means that Hero has to do it here. Recovering from this is almost just a no-go. 5 Immortals against just 2, I believe it was. Ouch.
3, actually.
Oh, okay.
And Hero's coming up now. Is he going to get that Mothership Core? No. And he's regrouping here. I got to say, Hero's army is just looking like it's in a bad spot now. Look at this nice split there. He sends more Zealots in here to try to do some harass.
Rain has to hold on here.
Hero has to break this. He has
Immortal
to get
that
through.
does come down. Does he have enough to kill off the Zealots? That's the most important first part. If the Zealots get on the Immortals, he's in trouble now. His Immortals do get to go forward a bit, but does he have enough for the Immortals and the Colossus
He's
of
targeting
Hero?
down that. Oh my God! There's enough Stalkers here that he can start to try to fight back and push forward farther here. Not bringing those Zealots up with that attack. A big mistake there. But 2 more Immortals out here, I think, has successfully shut down Hero's assault.
We're down to the very scrappy armies at this point.
By the way, there's still a 3rd Nexus up. He's not really mining from it, but he will once this battle finishes, assuming he wins it.
Don't forget, he has a lot more probes at the moment, so he's continuing to hit all his warping rounds. Doesn't quite get that Colossus yet. Looks like, oh, he kills the Mothership Core right before the Colossus dies. A huge deal right there. But with 2 Archons and 2 Immortals left, I think we're going to see Rain clean this all up.
Yeah, you know, it looks like our players that just traveled are paying for the price.
Yeah.
They're paying the price, excuse me, wow. And you can see Hero, you know, actually having to, you know, take in this, not just the defeat here, but that defeat with IEM, you know, just days ago. This is brutal. I wonder if Hero's even still really playing that much in that booth, if you know what I mean, or if he's just going through the motions here.
He's going through the motions at this point, Tasteless. He's mining almost nothing. His economy's gone. His army is gone. You know, this is the beauty of Archon Immortal Zealot. It's not a death ball. You can do things like harass and hold on.
GG.
Well done by Rain. Well deserved.
Yeah.
And he goes to the semis. Could we finally see him win his 2nd GSL?
It certainly could happen.
His 2nd big Korean title, I guess, because he won an OSL.
Wow. SOS and Hero lost. The 2 guys you saw at the finals of IEM couldn't cut it here today. Maybe not because they're good enough. Maybe just because they're tired. It's all, you know, a balancing act. Is your career as a pro gamer? Do I go to the tournament over here and risk making some money? I'm sure that or, you know, risk losing at GSL, but maybe making money. I got to say, for Hero, you know, going to a tournament where only 1st place gets anything, and now losing here in the GSL,
it's painful. Well, you saw him kind of laughing and putting his hand in his hands on his face. It's tough. He's out of everything now.
Yeah.
Didn't really win that much, unfortunately. One of the best performers overall. Not going to take home much prize money to back that up.
Well, next week we're going to have some great matches.
Friday, in fact.
Yeah. No, excuse me, Friday. What am I saying? Here's what the...
next week as well, though.
Well, of course, in the week after that, too, until we eventually to the finals.
Yeah.
So, Zest, 3-0s, SOS, easy peasy, and Rain, 3-2s, Hero. Well, next week we're going to have Life against Tomorrow and Parting against Sue. I think that's going to be a lot better than the matches we saw here today.
Oh, God, that's like the best. Like, you can't hope for better than what we're going to have on Friday. Amazing. Life versus Maru, winner wins this. Calling it. Called Maru for a season, but Life has the potential to take him out here. Life is playing as good of StarCraft as he ever has.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing how Parting does here.
Yeah. Well, he still hasn't won a GSL. Isn't that hilarious? Because he's so good.
He was a world champion, but not within
not a
our
GSL
tournament.
champion.
Yeah. Well, guys, I guess that does it for us here today. Artosis, it's good to have you back.
Thank you. Good to be back. Can't wait for Friday. Going to be awesome.
And, guys, join us Friday. Same time, same place. We're going to be back with the 2nd half of the Group 8 before we go to the round of 4. So tune in Friday, same time, same place. We love you. Good night.